Okay guys, real talk. Have you ever caught yourself thinking about your ex-girlfriend or ex-wife late at night no matter how much time has passed? It's like she's taken up permanent residence in the back of your mind, and you just can't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, she's still hung up on you too. In this video, we're going to dive into 10 surprising signs that your ex is still carrying a torch for you, even if she's too proud to admit it. By the end of this video, you'll be looking at your past relationships in a whole new light. She keeps contacting you. First on our list is the classic, "Hey, what's up?" text. You know the one. It's late at night, you're minding your own business, and suddenly your phone lights up with a message from her. It might seem innocent enough, but if this happens on the regular, it's a dead giveaway that she's still thinking about you. And we're not just talking about the occasional happy birthday or congrats on the new job message. We're talking about consistent, unprompted check-ins that seem to come out of nowhere. But why does she do this? Well, psychologically speaking, this type of bidding is a way for her to maintain an emotional connection with you, even after the relationship has ended. It's like she's reaching out, hoping to reel you back in. And if you find yourself constantly getting sucked into these conversations, it might be time to ask yourself if she's truly ready to let go. She gets emotional when you talk. Next up, let's talk about those face-to-face interactions with your ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. Whether you're grabbing coffee or just bumping into each other on the street, pay close attention to how she reacts when you're together. Does she get misty-eyed and nostalgic, like she's reliving all the good times you had? Or maybe she gets flustered and tongue-tied, like she's suddenly back in high school with a crush. These intense emotional responses are often rooted in unresolved attachment and a lingering desire for closeness. She might be putting on a brave face, but deep down, she's still grappling with the idea of letting you go. And if you find yourself getting swept up in these emotional moments, it's important to remember that nostalgia can be a powerful thing. Just because you have a history together doesn't mean you're meant to have a future. She reminisces about your relationship. Another major sign that she's still hanging on to the past when she can't seem to stop bringing up all the amazing times you had together. It might start innocently enough, with a casual reference to that one inside joke you shared or that hilarious thing that happened on your first date. But before you know it, you're taking a full-blown stroll down memory lane, complete with rose-colored glasses and a sappy soundtrack. Psychologically speaking, this type of positive reappraisal of your relationship is a textbook sign that she's struggling to move on. By focusing on all the good times you had, she's essentially creating a highlight reel of your relationship, one that conveniently leaves out all the reasons why you broke up in the first place. And while it might be tempting to indulge in a little nostalgia yourself, it's important to remember that the past is the past for a reason. She stalks your social media. In today's digital age, social media stalking has become the new norm for exes everywhere. And if she's still hung up on you, chances are she's all over your online presence like white on rice. We're talking liking every post, commenting on every photo, and even creeping on your Instagram stories when she thinks you're not looking. But why does she engage in this type of surveillance behavior? Well, it's a way for her to stay connected to your life, even when she's not physically present. By keeping tabs on what you're up to, who you're with, and even what you're wearing, she's essentially trying to maintain a sense of closeness and control. And while it might be flattering to have someone so invested in your life, this type of behavior is often rooted in insecurity and a lack of boundaries. She keeps your old stuff. Moving on to number 5, let's talk about all the random stuff she still has from your relationship. And no, we're not just talking about that old hoodie you lent her or the toothbrush she accidentally left at your place. We're talking about the sentimental stuff, the love letters, the photos, and even that tacky souvenir you bought together on your first vacation. Psychologically speaking, holding on to these mementos is a way for her to maintain a sense of attachment and continuity even after the relationship has ended. It's like she's clinging to physical reminders of your time together, hoping to keep the memories alive. And while it might seem harmless enough, this type of behavior can be a major roadblock to moving on. After all, it's hard to let go of the past when it's still taking up space in her present. She drunk dials you. This one is a classic move in the ex playbook. Imagine this. It's 2 a.m., you're sound asleep, and suddenly your phone starts buzzing like crazy. You groggily pick it up, only to hear the slurred voice of your ex on the other end, rambling on about how much she misses you and how she never should have let you go. But why does she engage in this type of behavior? Well, alcohol has a way of lowering our inhibitions and bringing our true feelings to the surface. And for her, those feelings might be a deep-seated longing for the comfort and validation that your relationship once provided. Drunk dialing is often a way for exes to seek that comfort in a moment of vulnerability, even if they know it's not the healthiest choice. She avoids talking about dating others. Next on our list is a sign that might surprise you, when she suddenly clams up at the mention of you dating or being in new relationships. You might be catching up over coffee, casually mentioning that you've started seeing someone new when she suddenly becomes fascinated by the pattern on her mug, or maybe she quickly changes the subject, as if the very idea of you moving on is too painful to bear. This type of avoidance is often a self-protective mechanism designed to help her cope with the perceived threat of losing you to someone else. By refusing to acknowledge or engage with the idea of you dating other people, she's essentially trying to keep the reality of the situation at arm's length. And while it might be tempting to interpret this behavior as a lack of interest or support, it's important to remember that it's often rooted in deeper feelings of attachment and fear. She gets jealous. On the flip side of avoidance is another classic sign of an ex who's still hung up on you: jealousy. Whether it's a snide comment about your new partner or a full-blown meltdown at the sight of you flirting with someone else, jealousy is a telltale sign that she's still invested in your love life. But why does jealousy rear its ugly head even after a relationship has ended? Well, it's often a natural response to the fear of losing a valued connection. Even if she knows that the relationship is over, the idea of you being with someone else can trigger deep-seated feelings of possessiveness and insecurity. It might be tempting to interpret jealousy as a sign of love or devotion, but it's often more about control than it is about genuine care. She confides in mutual friends. Moving on to number 9, let's talk about the power of gossip. If you and your ex share mutual friends, chances are you've heard through the grapevine that your name has been coming up in conversation. Maybe she's been asking about your love life, your career, or even just what you've been up to lately. This type of social grooming is a way for her to maintain a sense of connection and closeness, even when she's not directly communicating with you. By gathering information about your life through mutual friends, she's essentially trying to stay looped in and maintain a sense of relevance in your world. It might be tempting to interpret this behavior as concern or care, but it's often more about satisfying curiosity than it is about supporting your well-being. She disappears completely. Finally, we come to the last sign on our list, and it's a doozy. Sometimes the biggest indication that she's still hung up on you is when she suddenly disappears from your life altogether. No texts, no calls, no social media interactions. It's like she's fallen off the face of the earth. But why would an ex who's still interested in you suddenly go radio silent? Well, it's often a coping mechanism designed to deal with the intense pain and longing that can come with a breakup. By cutting off all contact and communication, she's essentially trying to go cold turkey and break the cycle of attachment and desire. It might be tempting to interpret this behavior as a sign of indifference or lack of care, but it's often the exact opposite, a sign of just how deeply she's struggling to let go. Have you ever experienced any of these signs from an ex? How did you handle it? If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to After School Psychology for more relationship insights.